Hey guys, welcome back to the Conjurer's Table. So today is going to be a special episode on how to create and start your own book of shadows. Now each book of shadows that someone creates is always going to be completely unique to that person. So what I may do may not always work for someone else, but at least what I show you can inspire you. So what I'm going to start off by doing is showing you how I age my pages for my book of shadows to prep it. And the next I will show you what each page will look like in the very few first pages of my book of shadows. So if you want to know more about my book of shadows, keep on watching. Okay guys, welcome back. So let's begin with part 1 of creating my book of shadows. Now the first thing I'm going to be doing is aging my pages. Now some things you're going to need in order to age your pages is a book. I've already aged some of my pages in it. And then here's some of the pages that I didn't age. So you need a book. That's going to be your book of shadows. You're going to need a wide cup or bowl. You're going to need tin foil, and you're going to need a brush and a plate. The plate is to set the brush on top of when you're not using it. And then the cup or the bowl that you're going to use is simply going to be used to put coffee or tea in, because those are the two ingredients that you need to age your pages. Now today, I'm going to be using coffee to age my pages. So let's start. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take your saran wrap and put one layer that will go underneath your book of shadows. And this will help to protect the table or the surface you're working on so that the coffee, in case some does kind of spill over from the pages, doesn't stain anything underneath. And then you're going to take your book of shadows and place it right on top. And then what you're going to do is do one more to separate the pages. So for example, I've taken this, you're going to cut that in half. Like so. Next, you're going to take a page that you want to age and place the tin foil in between the two pages to separate, like so. And what this does is it protects the pages underneath from any bleeding from the coffee or tea that you use. Now the next step, guys, is to take your mug or your bowl and fill it with either tea or coffee. So let's go do that right now. Okay guys, so the second step is going to fill your coffee or bowl with tea or coffee. So today I'm going to be using a Keurig to produce my coffee. And there you guys have it. Coffee that is ready to age papers with. Okay guys, so I have my coffee all set and ready to go. Now let's begin aging our pages. Another thing that I want to mention, guys, is that you can also use a blow dryer on high speed to speed up the drying process. Now let's get started. So you're gonna take your page that you want to age, dip your brush into the coffee, and start painting away. Now there are definitely many ways that you can age it. You can age the entire page, or I'll even show you another page I do where I only age certain areas to give each page kind of a unique look. So now I'm going to use a blow dryer to try and get this to speed up drying. Okay guys, another thing I want to mention is to be very careful of the pages when they are wet, because at that point they are very delicate and they can easily rip. So once you've dried it, you can either let it air dry or you can use a blow dryer to speed up the process. When it's about 60 to 70% dry is when you have the option to crinkle the page up, giving it more of that aged effect, which is what I'm going to do right now, because right now I can feel the page and it's still a little bit damp, but still dry enough to crinkle without it ripping. So it's quite simple. You just take the page and carefully crinkle it up. And then just pull it out a little bit. And as you can see, it's kind of crinkled, and then you continue drying it until it is completely dry. And what I do is I will use the blow dryer. I know, guys, sorry, it's kind of like a extremely old blow dryer. Is I blast it a few times with dry air, and then I'll blast it with cold, and then I'll blast it one more time with hot, and then one more time to cold. And the cold will set the page. So I've just blow dried once with hot air, and now I'm going to be blow drying once with cold air. Also guys, don't forget to flip the page over once it's dry on this side, just to make sure it gets dry on the other side, even though you probably will not need to, because it will most likely be dry. Now another important note guys is if you accidentally get some of the coffee in the crease here, the fold of the paper, make sure to blow dry that and get that dry first, because if you try and go to crinkle the paper, you will accidentally rip it, which I've done before. But I've ripped like a tiny bit here, which when it dries, it still gives it kind of that aged torn effect, which if you're going for that is awesome. But for me, I kind of wanted to just have them wrinkly looking and aged without rips. But I do have a couple pages where the edges are ripped, but I kind of didn't mind that and kind of stuck with that. Okay guys, so I have one more page here that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you a different technique on what you can do. So obviously taking your brush, doing the same thing. What I'm going to do is create it so that the entire page doesn't look aged, so just some areas. So I'm literally just going to go like that. And voila, that's just going to be one page right there, simple and easy. And then just go about drying like you did with the previous page, and then you're all set. And I'll show you what it looks like when that's dry. Okay guys, so now this is about 70% dry. And as you can tell, some of the coffee that was extra kind of bled over here and over here, kind of darkening it, but that's okay because I kind of like that cool effect it created. Also, another thing you can do, guys, if you want, you can even do little splatters on the page like that and then dry it, especially even on white paper, it'll kind of look really cool because it looked like something just accidentally spilled out onto the page. And see guys, when it's dry, that's what it kind of creates, is that cool dripped effect. Now it's dry enough that I can crinkle. Okay guys, so the next step you're going to want to do is once you've completely finished aging all your pages that you like, or you can even pause for a little while, take a break, is what you do is you just close your book, press it firmly down, and then place something heavy on top so that it presses the pages down, because if you don't, it'll end up looking like that, which is something we don't want. So just put something heavy on top, leave it on overnight, and then in the morning, it'll still be a little raised, but won't be as raised as when you had it in the beginning. And here's some of my pages that were aged and what they look like when everything's flat. It gives you that very rustic kind of feel. Turn of the century. And here's some of the other pages I did. And then here are the 2 new ones I did today. And that, guys, is how I age my pages. So stay tuned because I'm going to finish a few more, and then once I've reached about 30 pages, I'm going to start writing in my first page of my Book of Shadows, and I will share with you guys what I write in each page. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks guys for watching part 1 of my Book of Shadows creation series. Stay tuned for the next episode as I cover the first few pages on ancestral magic. Bye, guys.